from the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com. You're listening to the Bryan and Vinny Show with your hosts, Bryan Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
All right, it's the Bryan Vinny Show here, October 28, 2018, figure4online.com/WrestlingObserver.com. A lot to talk about here today. The Women's Evolution Show. No NWA, that's next week. If you missed when I started over here. And then the Hardy Halloween Show.
You know, Bryan, we've been getting a lot of requests for that.
You know, Vinny, we have. Yeah, we had a production faux pas, and I was so irritated I actually started over the show, instead of just letting it go on and discussing it. But now that we started over, I'm discussing it here.
I know, it's the amazing thing.
Yeah, it's put me in a mood, which is good because let me tell y'all something, okay? I'm gonna get this out of the way first, okay? Show was really good. I thought that this show would be really good. I predicted this show would be really good. The show was even better than I thought. Now, if you only want to hear about all the happy, jolly, wonderful, great things about this show, then skip forward like 4 minutes so I can get something off my chest. All right? Okay, you've been warned. This fucking show starts out with Michael Cole saying, "This is an historic night for women in all sports." I was like, fuck off. Can't we just have an all-women's pay-per-view and let all of the women have matches on the all-women's pay-per-view and, like, that's it?
No, Bryan.
Can't we just do that?
Everything has to be a seminal moment in our society.
Jesus Christ. And then throughout the show...
Imagine the dark ages we'd be in without Stephanie McMahon in this evolution.
Throughout the show, they're asking all these women, what does this mean to you, okay? And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that these women are lying. I'm sure the show meant a lot to some of them. Maybe a lot to all of them. There were tears. I'm sure that they really felt that this was like a big deal to them. And if that's the case, then I'm really, really happy for them. But fuck, they're talking about how... There was this point in the show where they're interviewing somebody. I don't even know who it is. But it's after Trish and Lita versus Alicia Fox and Mickie James, okay? Trish and Lita versus Alicia Fox and Mickie James. So, during that match, they alert us that Trish Stratus and Lita were the first women to ever main event Raw. Do you know when that happened? It happened 14 fucking years ago. 14 years ago, these women were fighting not for the Divas title. They were fighting for the Women's Championship in the main event of Raw 14 years ago. They explained that to us, and then we have to go to somebody else explaining to me that, oh my God, it's so great now. The women can they can wrestle. I was like... Kelly's talking about how, we had no opportunity to do this when I was around. And I was like, you fucking... These women were main eventing Raw for the women's title before you ever even got into the business. You were like 14 when they were doing that. She's only, like, I think Kelly's like 31 now. Something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you did not debut Kelly in the dark ages of wrestling, okay? Yes, I think it was 2008... It was 2008 when they introduced that Divas title. Not 1995, not 1999. In 1999, China was winning men's belts. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we had a period where, like, Trish Stratus showed up as a valet, and granted, she showed up as part of TNA. That was the name of the group, right?
Name, yes.
Tess and Albert. Mm-hmm. And it was all about her ass and everything like that. But you know what?
And her boobs, to be fair.
Yes, and then she became a wrestler, and Lita became a wrestler, and Ivory was there, and all of these women were there, and they were being given opportunities to have good matches. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
This is not something that was invented by Stephanie McMahon 3 years ago.
No.
I'm sick of this narrative. Okay? Yes, I'll admit it. There are more women under contract now than there have ever been.
Sure.
Yeah, if you're a woman now... It is, in fact, better than if you were a woman back then.
Yeah.
For the most part, okay? Not for everybody. Like, Trish and Lita were way bigger stars back then than probably 80% of this women's battle royal they had here tonight. Okay, so like they were big stars. China's a big star. It was like this big scandal that China didn't go to the fake WWE Hall of Fame because people were like, oh my God, she was like the first woman that beat up and beat up men and won titles as a man. But now we're supposed to forget that China and Trish and Lita and all of these women ever even existed. Like somebody goes, you know, they could announce on the pay-per-view is we're going to do the first ever historic Women's Survivor Series match. And somebody on our board rightly pointed out, you mean unlike the very first Survivor Series where there was a Women's Survivor Series match? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. It was just, it's too much for me. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit skewed because I married a woman who has 2 degrees and runs her own nonprofit. Okay, in this household, she far outranks me.
Well, that's
I'm the fucking idiot in this household. I run a fucking jiu-jitsu school.
My work here is done.
I run a jiu-jitsu... Well, you do too, but you don't count. You're a man. Point of this is, I run a jiu-jitsu school, and we've got a kids program. You know who the 3 highest-ranking kids in the program are? They're all girls. I have 3 green belts in the whole school after 7 years. They're all girls. And they go in there and they beat the shit out of the guys. And I don't sit there and call a meeting and go, ladies, I can only give you these green belts because Stephanie McMahon has turned around the world of sports for women. Before the Women's Evolution pay-per-view, girls, you could never achieve the rank of green belt. I would have had to hold you back. But thankfully, Stephanie has come along. Michael Cole has alerted this. It is a historic night for women in all sports, including here in jiu-jitsu. So because of that, girls, I can now give you your green belts and promote you to the top of the fucking kids ladder. That's a kid's black belt. It's just as stupid. Now, with all that off my chest, the women did great this evening.
Yeah.
They had one of the best WWE pay-per-views I've seen this year.
Yeah.
Like as far as top to bottom, all of the matches. Mm-hmm. Every match that I thought was going to be good was good. And some of the matches I thought, there's no way this match could be good. They were good. So, an excellent show from top to bottom. I just wish I didn't have to sit there for 3.5 hours and listen to Cole, what was the term you used? Mansplain to me and all of the other women about how this promotion run by a man with men in charge of practically everything. Stephanie is like, she's not even on creative. Do you understand what I'm saying? She doesn't have like a huge role as an executive in this company. These men have created this show to tell you women that it's cool to be a woman now. That's what I felt watching this show, outside of the great wrestling. Would you like to add anything?
No, the horseshit was deep. Hard to maneuver through. But I can't add to anything that you've done there, so I'm just going to start with the review.
I just want to let all the women out there know that you can do whatever you want, with or without WWE running a pay-per-view.
Yes.
In case there's fucking any of you out there that were unaware of that. Hey, if you were a woman that felt empowered by this show, more power to you. I'm very happy for you. If you're a woman that felt empowered by being on this show, more power to you. I'm very happy for you. But they don't need this show. They can do whatever they want, anytime they want in their lives. Am I wrong?
No.
I feel like I'm right.
There's something to be said for the representation and the young ladies in the crowd who got to see an all-women show, but it's not nearly as big a deal as they like to make it be.
No.
As the WWE would like to make it. The WWE is not as big a deal as they would like to make it be.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah. WWE Evolution, October 28th, 2018. Opened with the best thing I've seen in a WWE pay-per-view all year. Lizzie Hale and Nita Strauss doing a concert. That was awesome.
Thank God for WWE. They were able to rise to these heights.
Yes. We had Trish Stratus and Lita versus Alicia Fox and Mickie James. First horseshit line. Michael Cole said, Alicia Fox is a pioneer of the women's division.
That is, and it's not even that. It's not even that. He goes, he says, he actually repeats himself like, no, seriously, she is.
Exactly.
Like he's explaining that I know it sounds ridiculous that Alicia Fox is a pioneer.
Hear me out.
But really she is.
Yeah.
And the other women are like, oh yeah, I worked with her in OVW or whatever.
Letters I haven't heard on a pay-per-view in 20 years.
Alicia Fox, God bless her. I'm the guy that said, I at one point mistakenly said, she's going to end up the best woman they've got on the roster. I've had to hear about how wrong I was for years. Okay, I was very high on her when she started. She's not a pioneer of this women's division.
No. I'm trying to think of one thing she's done that no one had done before her. Other than the axe kick where she appears to be actually killing people.
Yeah, I'm sure that was done before as well.
Probably. So let's see. The building was not all the way lit up. It was very, very loud. Great crowd all night.
It was a great crowd.
It was dark.
It is the Nassau Coliseum.
Cole cleaned. It was sold out.
I think it was either sold out or very close to.
Yeah. So this match, there was some wonkiness to it. Lita and Trish had a hard time getting on the same page with some of their double teams. And when Trish got the hot tag and ran wild with headlock takeovers, I could not help but giggle.
But she ran wild, and the headlock takeovers looked good.
And everyone loved it.
Yes.
The crowd went crazy. She hit the Stratusfaction. Alicia was supposed to break at the pin. She was late. The ref had to stop his count. Crowd forgave all that because at the end, this was about nostalgia. And Lita and Trish aesthetically looked great. And Lita hit the moonsault on both heels, and Trish hit the chick kick for good measure.
The chick kick?
Nope.
I got to rename that.
That's what she called it.
I know.
Anyway, it was a fun opener.
Hey, this is a very fun opener. I looked at this match and I thought, Alicia Fox is replacing Alexa Bliss. Alexa's not the best wrestler in the world, but I thought Alicia Fox is replacing Alexa. Trish and Lita haven't been in the ring in God only knows how long. Like, it's probably going to be short, some smoke and mirrors, go home. It was not short. This match went 13 minutes?
At least 10, yeah.
They went a long time. Mm-hmm. Very, very ballsy to give them that much time. I would not have done it, but I would have been wrong.
I could argue desperate would be the better word.
No, they
went over, but...
What do you mean they went over? The show went over as a whole,
yeah.
but yes. The point of this it wasn't because this match went long. They went as long as they were supposed to. But yeah, they went 11 minutes. 11 minutes and 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. I would not have thought they would have been able to pull it off, but they pulled it off, and it was good, and people liked it, and it was a fun match, and everybody looked good, and the babyfaces won. That, to me, was the most notable thing. There was a happy ending.
Yeah.
Here and in the main event.
Yes.
It was mind-blowing.
We had a Bella Twins promo, personal comments about mothers and love lives, and the Bella's dedicated the match to Ronda's mom. We had the first of about 14 segments where it's just several minutes of women spewing the same bullshit Bryan was complaining about to open the show. I was sick of it after the very first one. A battle royal.
Here are the women, everybody.
I wrote it down too.
Okay, so each woman got her own entrance.
Yes.
For at least the first bar of her music.
10 seconds or so.
10 seconds. Yeah. But they all got their music, and I expected, sometimes the first couple stars come out, and then usually if it's on TV, they go to commercial.
Yeah.
And they come back and all the women are in the ring. So I thought maybe they were going to do that where they'd have a couple come out, go to a video package, come back, they'd all be... Nope, every single one of them got an entrance. We had Naomi, Michelle McCool, Sonya Deville, Alundra Blaze...
Yes.
Carmella, Zelina Vega, Kelly Kelly, Tamina, Ember Moon. By the way, I was told in the building, Ember Moon was maybe the second most popular person on the show.
It felt that way watching here.
Behind Becky.
Yeah.
Lana, Maria.
The Diva Maria.
Yep, with Mike and the baby in the crowd. Mandy Rose, Molly Holly, Dana Brooke, Nia Jax, Ivory, who is 59 years old.
That's impossible.
59 years old. Asuka.
She was in Glow. That was a long time ago.
Tori Wilson, Peyton, and Billy. All out here in this ring. Mm-hmm. And when I looked at that lineup, and I thought, Ivory's 69. Kelly was never good.
Say what now?
And what did I say?
69.
Did I?
Dude.
Freudian slip.
Funny. Ivory's 59. How dare you, Vinny? Very sexy.
I quoted Bill and Ted.
Kelly was never any
69,
good.
69, dudes.
And Lana's not very good. And Maria hasn't wrestled since she had a baby. And Alundra Blaze hasn't taken a bump since 2001. And Carmella's not very good. I'm just looking at this thinking, Tori Wilson, for crying out loud. I'm like, this
in
match...
2018.
There's no way this match can be good. That's what I thought going in.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Okay. May I be Michael Cole? These women tonight proved nothing is impossible. They went out there and they had a pretty damn good battle royal.
Keeping in mind that most battle royals are terrible,
Yes.
this is easily one of the top 10 battle royals I've ever seen.
Think about that.
Yeah.
This was not as good as the All In Battle Royal.
Did we watch that?
I don't know if you watched it. I watched it. I'm telling you right now, this was not as good as the All In Battle Royal.
That's fine. Yeah. It was there's the one Andre the Giant Battle Royal in New Orleans with Cesaro one. That was awesome. But yeah, most battle royals it's 20 people out there. The first 16 eliminations are just random crap that doesn't matter, and then you finally do something 10 minutes in. This one, they had stuff planned for everyone. There was a story going on. various stories actually, all interacting. So the Iconics come out and run down and do a promo. They run down Long Island. They run down all the other women. And then, of course, they're instantly dumped to massive boos. Made me laugh. We had a brawl between all the active women and all the retired women. We had Mandy and Sonya teaming up to toss a bunch of women out, and then Mandy turned on Sonya.
Oh,
Threw her out.
devilish women.
Nia threw Alundra out. I was stunned Alundra didn't last very long.
Dude, the Alundra Blaze elimination was so great. She's carefully placed over the top rope.
Yes.
She sits on the apron like she's sitting in a chair. Mm-hmm. Then she goes down the slide, lands on her feet, and walks away.
She looked like a small child sliding down the steps into the pool or something.
I've seen that many times of late.
Yes. We had Tamina and Nia, the two giants in the ring. They did the big stare down. I think their timing got thrown off because I think they were supposed to do 2 stare downs, but Lana shows up, then they kill everyone, then Lana shows up again, and they kill her. Terrifying 4-on-4 suplex where somehow everyone lived. Carmella did a dance-off, threw Mandy out of the ring. This is the cue for everyone to hit a flying kick on somebody. We had Ember threw Dina out and then took a great bump for Michelle McCool and then immediately threw her out. Carmella and Ember did something. They tried, I forget, it was supposed to be an abdominal stretch or what their plan was, but it went horribly awry. Oh, it was supposed to be the head scissors. The size they went into the head scissors.
Oh my god!
The head was never scissored.
It was just supposed to be a tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah,
but the tilt and the whirl did not happen.
No.
And so
no
I
whirl
thought,
was tilted.
Okay, so it starts if you imagine a side slam, and then the tilt-a-whirl occurs. You run and you basically get in side slam position. You do the tilt-a-whirl. So the tilt and whirl did not occur. So Ember is just holding her in side slam position
In a circle.
First off, she's holding her.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so far be it from me to correct whoever this was here, Ember Moon, but just fucking slam her.
Would have been better.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead, she spun in a circle a few times, I guess thinking maybe we'd think that Carmella was initiating the spin, even though it's ridiculous. And then she let go of her, and then she did a roll and sold it.
Yeah.
That was very, very bad.
So it was terrible. A few seconds went by, and Michael Cole, God bless him, kind of unique.
Even Cole could not defend that.
That's all he can say.
Yes.
So Carmella gets dumped, more boos. Ivory goes out. The final 4, it appeared, was Asuka, Ember, Nia, and Tamina. 2 giant clumsy people and 2 really great wrestlers who everyone loves. Crowds going crazy chanting for NXT. Asuka and Ember have their big showdown. And after all these years, Ember finally gets an advantage on Asuka. She throws her out of this damn battle royal. The closest thing she's ever had to a win. Now the crowd's going nuts. It's Ember. And this is, we see this many times. This is classic Vince McMahon, how to get a challenger over for a championship match. You put them against a giant and have them win. We've seen it. The Benoit Royal Rumble. What was the one we just saw? Oh, Roman. I think this happened to Roman. Somebody did a battle royal. Anyway, Vince does it all the damn time. And Ember's running with 2 giants. And she runs, hits the Eclipse on Tamina, gets her out of there. And suddenly Zelina Vega reappears. She had been hiding somewhere. She tries to throw them both out. That fails. Nia presses her out onto Tamina's face.
Oh, my God. I don't want to have to get on Ember or Nia again, but you're throwing a small person onto a big person. Aim. She fucking threw her knees. She threw Zelina's legs towards the face of Tamina.
Yeah.
There's nothing Zelina can do.
No, she's
a projectile.
Yeah, she's weight.
Tamina's presuming that, Nia's going to throw her in the right spot, like her chest or whatever, onto her chest to chest.
Sure.
Throws her fucking legs right at her face and knees right to the face, and poor Tamina goes down holding her nose. Wouldn't be surprised if she broke her nose. It was brutal.
And then very quickly thereafter, Nia throws out Ember to win. Yes. Nia, the big clumsy person who already had the big showdown with Ronda last year, throws out Ember, who everyone likes, and will be a fresh matchup for Ronda.
Yes, that's what happened.
Because they are tone deaf, and they have no idea what's going on.
Well, Nia's big, Vinny.
Hello? You've got me there.
Yeah, let's wake up to the reality of the world here. It's WWE.
Yeah. This was a very, very good battle royal.
A very good battle royal. The only thing I really did not like about it actually was not the fault of the women at all. It was the fault of Cole. Again. Ember Moon tossed Asuka.
No one made a big deal out of it.
Asuka has gotten over on Ember every single time. For years. It started in developmental. We had the whole feud in NXT where Asuka could never win.
Ember could never win.
Asuka finally vacates the title. Ember wins it. Ember never beat Asuka.
No.
They fucking end up in the Royal Rumble together, and Asuka tosses Ember. It's like, this has gone on forever. Finally, Ember eliminates Asuka. And there's a brief pause, and one of the women, I'm not sure which, goes, I think that was an upset.
Yes.
That was the response.
That is how it went down.
And Cole said something like, sure was. And they literally just moved on. That was the biggest swing and a miss in a long time.
So we had a Nia Jax promo. If I was unenthused by her win in the first place, this promo did nothing to change my mind. She's an honor to share the ring with legends. She's focused on the Raw Women's Championship. Best of luck to both Ronda and Nikki, but their moment won't last long. Everyone did love her. There was a very friendly crowd, and they were happy for her because she won. And a Mae Young Classic hype video, and then the Mae Young Finals, Toni Storm versus Io Shirai. Introduced the ref for the first time. Showed some of the tournament competitors in the crowd.
Jessica Carr is the referee, the female ref.
That's right. So this is a really, really, really good match. Best or second best match of the tournament, unless you like Toni Storm's match against Miko better. That would be fine.
I like the Miko match better.
Yeah. The most notable thing about this is, especially in hindsight, Toni was a completely deserving winner. Not only did she win at the end when she hit her finisher and pinned her, she got the only near fall of the match when she hit her finisher the first time, and Io barely kicked out. Io's went for a finish one time. It backfired. She landed on the knees, and Toni immediately hit her finish and won. I mean, they went back and forth the whole way, but in the last few minutes, this was Toni's fight for sure. And WWE doesn't do this very often.
No, this is a very Japanese-style match. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the only complaint I have about it is it went 10 minutes. That's why I thought the Satomura match was better, because this was the final, and they could have easily gone 5 more minutes and had a much better match.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they were restricted to 10 minutes. I guess maybe the feeling was, who knows how many people in the Nassau Coliseum are going to know who these two women are. It could be a casual WWE Raw SmackDown audience. I don't know if that's what they thought, but they went there 10 minutes. As you noted, there was one near fall, and then Toni got the knees up, hit her Storm Zero, got the pin, and the complaint I had for the Battle Royal is the same one I had here. Toni Storm won the Mae Young Classic. We've been watching this damn thing for 8 weeks now, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So she finally wins. Like she went, near close to the finish last year, didn't win. Comes back this year, goes to the finals. She wins after beating all of these other women, and they're like, Toni Storm has won the Mae Young Classic. That was it. It's kind of a big deal, you know what I mean?
Well, that's all the announcers did.
Yeah, that's their job, though. They weren't even calling the Mae Young Classic.
I realize that, but I'm saying if you did not watch the show, we should note that Hunter was in the ring and Steph and Sarah. Stephanie in an outfit that made her legs look 9 feet long. It was very weird.
The ceremony was great.
Yeah. They all had flowers and trophies, and the two women were crying and hugging, and they made a big deal out of that part of it, at least.
Yeah, the post-match celebration with the trophy, the flowers, all of the McMahons out there, Sarah Amato. That was all awesome.
Yes.
I just could not believe how nothing the finish was to these announcers. It was like Toni just won another match. Cool. That was it.
We had more clips of the women talking about the evolution.
Well, first we had a Crown Jewel commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Right after the Mae Young Classic finale. They made sure to promote Crown Jewel coming up on the WWE Network.
Yeah. So, most of these clips of women talking about the Evolution show felt very rehearsed and forced. Like they were saying what they had been told to say or what they thought the bosses wanted to say, with the exception of Medusa, who sounded so sincere and so believable, talking about all she had been through. And
we're watching Nitro.
We're watching all that stuff. Yes, that's true. I don't think I wouldn't know, I guess, but I turned on the network to watch one of the retro shows, and they have a Medusa documentary up right now. And it was on when I turned it on. I watched about 5 minutes of it. It looks awesome. But she's talking about going to Japan and just getting the absolute shit beat out of her night after night after night.
Yeah, by other women.
By other women.
In women's matches.
Yeah.
For women's championships.
Point being, she's been through more than easily 90% of the women, except Ronda. Ronda and Shayna are the only women who were beat up more than Medusa on the show. So when she was talking about all they had gone through, and from being not even on the poster to being on the poster to being a main event to getting their own show, that was the only one of these that I thought felt sincere and believable.
Yeah, because that was actually something that is real and believable in history.
Exactly.
She had to go to another country to be taken seriously as a wrestler.
Yeah.
And when she went over there, not only was she taken seriously as a wrestler, but they really wrestled.
Yeah.
And some of the women over there were better than the men. And she's out there
hit harder.
And out there every night having these great matches. And I'm sure that she always wondered, why can't we do this in America? Why can't we do this in America? Now here she is. She's 56 years old or whatever. And they're finally doing it in WWE. So I'm sure to her, this is a really damn big deal.
Yeah. Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan versus Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Natalya.
Do you know that of all of the matches on this show, virtually every match was as good or better than expected, with the one exception of this match?
I didn't know what to expect from this match, but it was better than this.
The thing to me was, I thought this was going to be like a Raw match, 8-9 minutes. Instead, they went almost 14.
Yeah.
They just kept going and going and going and going and going.
And
it went way too long.
It went way too long. Everything's going fine for the first segment, the first heat segment, up to the first hot tag. And then Sasha got a hot tag, and then not only did it start going too long, but the longer it went, the worse it got. Sasha gets a hot tag. She does 900 spots with, I wrote Sasha, I forget which woman she was with, but they all mistimed.
Sasha did not look good in this match.
No.
She messed up one thing after another. She looked slow. She looked tentative. She looked sloppy.
Yeah. So they did a spot where Bayley had the pin, but Liv pushed Sasha into Bayley because Lord knows we can't have.
I screamed.
Just
I literally screamed in this room when they did that.
For one show.
Like, oh my God, they're going to feud him again.
Sasha's dive where she hits the ropes and kind of slowly tumbles over like a slinky. I can't even call it a dive.
Oh my God, yeah, she goes to do a flip dive, but it was like she got dropped stomach first on the top rope.
Yeah.
She stopped on her stomach on the top rope, did a forward roll, landed on the apron, and then all the girls grabbed her.
Yeah. So Sasha's down. They're going to hit a move off the top. Bayley, instead of knocking the person off the top rope, lays down on top of Sasha, and time freezes for a minute, and then they just hit them both anyway. And then finally, just out of nowhere, the babyfaces run wild and get a powerbomb, Bayley's elbow, and a frog splash for the win. It went way too long. They did way too much stuff. A lot of it didn't look good. And note about commentary. Cole's telling the story about Liv Morgan, about how she's been through some dark times, and he's explaining this, and I'm sure it's true, and I'm sure he meant it to be sad, but everything Michael Cole says sounds phony. She's been through some dark times, and she once considered harming herself. Now she's turned around, and that's why she calls herself Liv. Which would be, I wouldn't bring it up, except then there's a pause, and then Renee says, "What an interesting story."
Yeah.
That was bad. She was not moved. So yeah, this was the worst thing on the show.
I would have to say this was the most disappointing thing on the show. I guess I'd have to say it was the worst because it's the one match I wouldn't want to watch a second time. Just went too long.
So we had another segment of the women all talking about this. Alicia was weeping about the women's evolution, and all I could think was, she really is crazy. And Steph's talking about what it means for her children, and then I thought, oh, this is the first time. I think I've known this, but it really hit me.
This is the first time you realize that her children will someday be on television?
Soon, relatively. Like, in 10 years or so, Stephanie and Hunter's kids are going to be a part of this show.
Yeah, they'll be champions, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. This was so awesome. I love this match.
You know what's funny is when you really think about it, I never really thought about this till just now, but I can't remember how old Stephanie said her kids were. I think she said like 8, 10, and 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
8, 10, and 12. So all of this stuff that I'm talking about, this complete bullshit. What's funny is when Stephanie says, my daughters are going to see how much this business has changed, she's actually right.
Yeah.
Because when they were born, Kelly was a stripper fighting for a belt that looked like a butterfly.
Yeah.
That is what they grew up with.
Yeah.
So Actually, in that case, it's absolutely right. If you're any older, you realize this is ridiculous. But yeah.
So this match is awesome. This is a great pairing because Shayna is the best bully in the world and Kairi is the best underdog in the world. And when Shayna takes her down, and I've seen her do all this stuff 100 times, but when she takes her opponent down and does the arm locks and the hand, the hand working and the small joint manipulation, when she does it on a 1-hour show, it's kind of cool. When she does it in the middle of a 3-hour show, it really sticks out how no one else in the roster is doing anything like this and how she's very unique. And Kairi's great at selling, and the part where she's being whipped across the ring and runs the ropes but is still selling her arm as she's being whipped. Just brilliant. We had Shayna climbing the ropes doing a dangling arm lock where she's just holding Kairi up by the arm and Kairi's just hanging limp, begging for help. And Kairi comes back. She goes to the top rope elbow, but Shayna rolls outside, and so Kairi turns into a giant dive. At that moment on the show, I will say this because I'm a fair man. Michael Cole was awesome calling this big move and how exciting it was and what a huge risk it was and all this. He made this match better calling it that way. So they brawl over by the other NXT women. Shayna actually gets backdropped into the NXT women, and suddenly her friends Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir are blatantly interfering. And Kairi drops them both with back fists, but she still gets distracted, and Shayna hooks the choke. Kairi's able to escape it one time, but then Duke kicks her in the head. Shayna hooks it again. There is an epic struggle, and Kairi goes out.
God, the fans were angry about this finish.
Yes.
They were so mad that it was cheating on their women's pay-per-view.
It was good angry, as opposed to...
I guess.
We've seen bad angry was when
they didn't throw shit at the ring.
When Nia won the Battle Royal. When they were pissed off when Ember got... Well, they pissed off when the Iconics got eliminated, actually. This was, I can't wait to see Kairi fight Shayna again.
And Renee pointed out we now have 2 sets of 4 horsewomen in WWE. Because Shayna, when the match was over, she picked up Marina and Jessamyn and dragged them to the back. So it appears this might have been their official television debut. And they will now be a
thing.
Well, it's kind of weird because they're calling them the 4 horsewomen.
That would imply Ronda is one of the 4.
Horsewomen is Ronda, who is
a hero.
She's Steve Austin now.
Yeah.
That Roman is gone.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
She's the new face of the brand.
Yeah.
And there's a baby face. And these women are undoubtedly heels.
Yes.
So it's a little weird. I wonder if they can find a new 4th person to replace Ronda for a while.
I think they'll just be...
But I mean, we have 4 horsewomen that are from the WWE that all hate each other.
That's also true. Ronda will be able to flip a switch and be the biggest heel in the world.
So. I know she will, but I mean, if you're doing something in Survivor Series, I don't see Ronda going in there as a heel.
That would be weird. Yeah. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch in a last woman standing match. Becky was, in fact, by far the most popular person on the show.
Okay, you want to talk bullshit on this show? They did a video package for this show, and they aired a bunch of recaps from SmackDown. And they literally edited out cheers and put boos in. It's 2018. This isn't Hulk Hogan pulling Sid out of the Royal Rumble. It's 2018. They're so determined to convince you, you dumb people, that she's being booed and not actually cheered, that they're editing the video packages. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Well, after several minutes of cheering for Becky and singing her song and booing Charlotte, and as Becky just beats the fuck out of Charlotte with sticks and chairs, and the crowd chants, "You deserve it." Like, there's 10 minutes of this. And like I said, she is the most popular person on the show. Finally, Cole says, Becky is developing a cult following.
Yeah,
amongst the WWE
a cult following.
A small percentage, a vocal minority, you could say.
He then
cheering for her.
Later he claimed that some fans, he said, thought, quote, Becky didn't have the royal lineage to be a superstar here in the WWE.
Horseshit.
I was like, I'm sure that's news to every fucking single one of these fans here that's cheering for her and cheers her in every goddamn city she goes to all across the fucking country.
Yes.
How stupid do you think we are?
They think you're really fucking stupid.
They do think you're really stupid. Yeah. If you're listening to this right now, WWE thinks you are really fucking stupid sometimes.
Yeah. So this match was great. They beat the bejesus out of each other. They used chairs and sticks, and they slammed each other through onto ladders. They slammed each other through tables. They were brawling in the crowd. They were brawling outside. They went into the post. They did a giant leg drop through the table. They eventually did a figure 8 in the ladder, which took me a long time to figure out how to do. They use the belt as a weapon. Charlotte's selling, by the way, is very awesome.
Dude, Charlotte's great.
Yes.
Her selling is so good. I am convinced repeatedly that she's about to die.
Yes.
It's not like fake bullshit wrestling selling.
It's not like she gets hit in the arm and says, "Oh, my arm," and grabs it. Like, in the middle of the match, as she's setting up the ladder, nothing is ever easy for her. Everything she's going through is a terrible ordeal. And as she's sitting up this ladder, huffing and puffing, trying to get the ladder set up and summoning the strength to, like, get the support straight so the ladder will actually stand, she makes everything so dramatic, and it's wonderful.
Well, it's like when you think about Ronda. Like, Ronda is renowned for her selling, like for her level of ability. She sells great. But she's a great traditional pro wrestling seller. She does what you're supposed to do when you're selling in a pro wrestling match. Charlotte actually makes me think that, like, well, she just broke her back when she got slammed on that ladder. Which is, it's kind of different because in 95% of the matches, you don't think that when somebody's selling.
No.
You're just watching whether they're good or bad. Charlotte, I watch her, and I'm like, oh, fuck, she ain't going to wake up.
Yeah.
She's like,
there's times
she's on death's door here.
She's going to have a heart attack.
And then
I think about it and said, look at this woman. This woman's not going to have a heart attack.
No, and then later, of course, at the end of the show, when all the people are out on the ramp, she's standing there happy as can be. She's sweating. But like, hey, everybody. You know, she's fine.
Half hour went by. She had a shower.
She sells great.
Yeah. So, let's see. What was the fit? I had the finish of this match spoiled for me because we got a late start, and I should have stayed off Twitter, but I knew who won, and so I was expecting a fuck finish because it's WWE, and Becky has several, for lack of a better term, near falls. She does the big leg drop off the ladder through a table, but Charlotte gets up. Becky tears her limb from limb, stacks a bunch of furniture on her, and Charlotte comes out of the rubble like Godzilla. And Charlotte finally, after like 20 minutes later, gets her receipt with the sticks and just beats the fuck out of Becky. Sets up a table on the floor and goes up to the top rope. She's going to do a moonsault through the table to the floor. But Becky jumps up, super bombs her off the top through the table on the floor. It looked horribly painful. And next thing you know, the referee has counted to 10 and Becky has just won.
Yeah.
She just beat her.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Well, hey, listen. I thought this match was great. I thought they did a hell of a job. I think, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I think Becky is losing the title at the next show.
Entirely possible. Do you mean Raw tomorrow night?
Not Raw tomorrow night. I'm talking like Survivor Series or whatever.
Okay.
I feel that WWE does not get Becky.
Well, that's clear.
You'll be stunned watching how they use her. Mm-hmm. I think they don't get her. I think they don't see her as like a long-term champion. I think they'll always go back to Charlotte or whoever they decide to go with for a while. And I think that in their mind, if we take the title off her tonight, these fans are going to be really mad. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw her a bone. She's going to win a great match on the Women's Evolution pay-per-view. She's going to win clean. Then when we take the title off her, there's nothing they can complain about. Now, you know they're going to complain.
Yeah.
They're going to be furious. And they're going to turn on whoever wins the title or whatever, but I watched this and that was the first thing I thought was they're giving her something big here because they're going to take the belt off her.
Even that may be giving them too much credit.
Possible.
This whole thing started in that three-way where Becky got screwed and Charlotte won, and they thought Becky would get booed, and everyone. That's how she started to get cheered in the first place.
Yes.
Because I think they just thought Becky is going to get booed because she beat the person who's tall and blonde.
I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
They're thinking the tall blonde person will always get cheered.
Well,
no matter what.
She's not.
I realize that. I'm sure they think it's just a matter of time. The novelty of this Becky woman will wear off. But regardless, this was an outstanding, I know it was not the main event, but it was an outstanding pay-per-view main event.
You know, listen, I know I'm a gimmick sometimes, okay? But when I think something and I'm proven wrong, it's like over. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
They thought something about Becky. They were proven wrong in fucking August. It's the end. It's November, basically.
May as well be.
They're still convincing themselves that they're doing the right thing here, and that Becky is a heel.
Dude, they think they've been doing the right thing with Roman Reigns for half a decade.
Well, there was that too, but I mean, that was
a stronger case.
That was a little bit different. That was like, they didn't care. I shouldn't say they didn't care. They were going to keep trying to get him cheered. But like, whether he was cheered or not, he was still the top guy. You know what I'm saying? He still sold all the merch. He still...
Okay, yeah.
This is different. This is like, they're sure that they're doing this right, and we're the ones that are wrong. I don't know. It's just weird. Then they plug Crown Jewel again, and the fans fucking booed them out of the building.
Well, good.
And Renee and Beth have to push the card as well. That I couldn't even... They had the balls to have Renee pushing the card for Crown Jewel. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Fuck.
Easily. They're bad people. Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella. For like 2 minutes, this was awesome. Because it's just Ronda schooling her and making her look like the biggest geek in the world, knowing she could snap all her bones whenever she wants to, but first she's going to toy with her and humiliate her. It was great. And then they're outside, and Brie distracts Ronda, and Nikki shoves Ronda into the post, and Ronda goes into this post hard. Ronda was trying to break the ring with her head, basically, on this post shot. And then it was just Nikki working her over for a long time. It was very boring.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I thought it was very boring.
I thought that he was all right. They had Nikki doing some moves, and
she sure did.
Brie would interfere behind the ref's back, and they'd post her here and they'd post her there. And
at one point,
I've seen much more boring heat than this.
That's fair.
Like in that 6-person.
Yes, that was more boring than, and well, it was also much longer than this. There's a lot more to be bored by. I like when Nikki, at one point, she grabs Ronda, puts her in a hold. I'm like, okay, it's sort of an abdominal stretch, but she's modified it with like a body scissors. What's she going for? And then I realized she just has absolutely no idea how to do an abdominal stretch. And they fell down, but she held it on.
Vinny, you would be stunned how many people don't know how to do an abdominal stretch.
A lot.
Yes.
It is also 2018. It's not something you see all the time.
It is a rare hold these days.
I grew up watching it. There'd be 3 or 4 on every show.
Yeah, those days are gone.
I don't know if I've told the story in the air. I was at practice once with Tim, who'd been wrestling for God knows how many decades. And Tim's in the ring, and he's doing stuff, and he goes to do an abdominal stretch, and suddenly his mind just freezes, and he can't remember. And he has to whip the guy in and can do it where you catch the guy coming off the ropes.
Yes.
He couldn't just
go for the hip toss and then...
Yes, he couldn't just do it from a standing position. It was still better than what Nikki did here. So, finally, Ronda fires up, does the fireman's carry with both Bellas on her back, and throws them down. It didn't look good, but I guess everyone's alive. And then Brie goes flying across the desk.
She's got them both on her shoulders. And so they're both face down. Mm-hmm. And then she does whatever she does, and somehow one ended up face down, and one ended up face up.
Yes.
That's bad.
Yes.
But everybody was alive. The ref was checking on everybody for a while there.
Yep. Nikki had one more Alabama slam and the Rack Attack 2.0, which was just a TKO. But Ronda kicked out of that, and they ended up on the top rope. Ronda hit a rolling body scissors off the top and an armbar for the win.
Yeah. You know, the thing about Ronda that's so great is Ronda can sell.
Yes.
And she's also real.
Yes.
So she can always sell, but if she needs you to sell, you're going to sell.
You will
if
sell.
you don't. Like at the beginning of the match, she's just fucking throwing Nikki all over the place. Mm-hmm. Nikki had no say in any of this.
No.
She just had to hold on for the ride. And then she sold for a while. And at the end, she threw both Bellas around. All they had to do was hold on for the ride. And then they went to the finish. This is why Ronda is great.
Yes.
So I got to learn how to sell.
Because if you don't, Ronda will just break your arm.
Selling is a very important part of this business.
Yes.
But when you're a shooter, you don't have to worry about the offensive part. You got to work on the selling part. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And hey, Nikki did a great job here. She is not a regular.
Not anymore, no.
No. Granted, they practiced every single day last week at the Performance Center.
Sure.
But for someone...
Great, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not a criticism.
No.
That's fantastic.
Hey, listen, if you're going to do a thing with Ronda where she very rarely wrestles on TV, and she only wrestles on pay-per-view, and she goes to the Performance Center for a week to practice a match before a pay-per-view, excellent. Excellent.
Yes.
But yeah, Nikki did great.
So that was a show. Easy thumbs up.
Her and Travis Brown made out in the front row. She hugged her family. She said hi to all these fans. All of a sudden, there's Jake Shields popping out of the crowd. Like, look at that guy.
Yeah.
And then all of the women are on the roster celebrating. Ronda's front and center. They're all happy. Fans are cheering. The show was great.
Yeah.
You know what? This is one of those shows where I wish I could have been there live.
Sure.
Because I would have showed up. I would have saw all the great wrestling. I wouldn't have had to listen to Cole.
No.
And I wouldn't have had to see any of those video packages. I would just get to see there and enjoy the wrestling show with all the women.
It actually, in a lot of ways, felt like the original One Night Stand show, just because, for the most part, it was matches that were just, there was nostalgia, fun, and there were some grudge matches, but it didn't really matter who won. There was like the two championship matches obviously weren't matter, but a lot of it was just here's a fun match to have to do a good show and entertain people.
Yes,
It was fun. It was like an evergreen show.
it kind of was an evergreen show.
Yeah.
They made no announcement for a second one.
No.
Which apparently they're planning on doing a second one.
I'm sure, yeah.
There were no announcements of the tag team titles, which they pretty much announced they're gonna have at some point.
All right.
But yeah, that was it. They just did the show and it was over, and I enjoyed it. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Easy to do.
Yes. Rob, do you have any thoughts on this show before we go here today?
No, it was exactly what you said. I mean, it was a great show. All the matches were great, with the not with the exception, but the 6-woman tag match was definitely about 5 minutes longer than it needed to be. But it's fantastic. I loved it.
And your daughter, Rob?
Yes.
Has she been watching? Has she been motivated by the WWE Women's Evolution?
She couldn't give 2 shits if she wanted to.
Man, my wife still can't get over the fact that she's just now evolving. It's very disappointing when she saw that on the...
She came in and you told her the show was a big step forward for her species.
Well, you know.
Did we mention she's the better educated of the two?
Yes, she is. I've said that many times. Many times. I said you're a humble man. Right time, everybody. Don't give me that look, Vinny, you fucker.
What do
I said humble man and you gave me the look.
I did not mean...
You gave me the Vinny face.
That's just what it looked like.
What was that? Is that your phone talking?
We were going so well.
We were going so well.
We'll have to do the whole show over again.
Rob, start over. Yes.
To be fair, I would like it noted that the production issues at the beginning of the show were not my fault.
No, they weren't.
Okay.
Yeah, for the first time. They were mine. All right, we're out of time, everybody. I'll be back later on tonight with Dave. New Observer Radio up today, so check that out. And that's it. We'll talk to you again after a while.
Adios.